My fiancé said, "It's me or your sister." I laughed, then canceled the wedding, blocked her family, and walked away while she cried in her dress. I, 29M, never imagined I'd be canceling my wedding 3 weeks before the big day. It was supposed to be the happiest chapter of my life. But things unraveled so fast, I'm still trying to catch my breath. My fiancée, Lauren, 27F, and I met 4 years ago. She was magnetic, funny, driven, gorgeous. We clicked right away. She loved that I was a family guy, especially close to my younger sister, Maddie, 24F. Maddie and I were raised by a single mom, and after Dad passed away when I was 15, I kind of stepped up as the man of the house. Maddie means the world to me. At first, Lauren and Maddie got along fine. They weren't best friends, but there was mutual respect. But about a year ago, that shifted. It started small. Comments Lauren would make about Maddie being too involved in our lives. She'd say things like, "It's weird that your sister texts you every day," or "Don't you think it's time to set some boundaries?" I brushed it off. I mean, Maddie and I are close, but not in an unhealthy way. She's finishing her master's degree and lives on her own. We don't hang out every weekend, but we keep in touch. But over the months, Lauren's tone got sharper. I remember one dinner, Lauren told me flat out, "You're going to have to choose between your wife or your sister eventually." I thought she was joking. I laughed, said, "That's a weird ultimatum," and moved on. But she wasn't joking. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago, our final wedding planning meeting with both families. Maddie offered to pay for part of the open bar as a gift. Lauren didn't even thank her. Later that night, she pulled me aside and said, "I don't want Maddie sitting at the family table. She can sit with your cousins or something." I was stunned. "She's my sister," I said. "Why wouldn't she sit with family?" Lauren looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Because she always makes everything about her. I don't want her near me on my day." Her day? That phrase echoed in my head. I know weddings are important for brides, but I thought we were building this life together. I told her I wasn't comfortable pushing Maddie aside, that it would hurt her deeply, and frankly, I didn't see a valid reason. Lauren snapped. "You never take my side. You're still emotionally attached to her like you're her parent or something. It's not normal. If you want to marry me, I need you to set boundaries. Starting with not talking to Maddie until after the honeymoon. No calls, no texts, nothing." I was speechless. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I thought about all the years Maddie had been there for me, through breakups, job losses, depression. She even helped me pay rent once when I was between gigs. And now I was supposed to treat her like some threat to my relationship? The next day, I called Lauren and told her we needed to talk. I explained I couldn't go forward with the wedding under these conditions. That her request went against everything I valued. That love shouldn't come with ultimatums like cutting off family. She screamed at me, "You're choosing her over me?" I calmly said, "No, I'm choosing me, and what kind of man I want to be." Then I canceled the wedding. The floodgates opened. Within hours, I had 73 missed calls. From her, her mom, her bridesmaids. She told everyone I blindsided her, that I destroyed her life over a petty disagreement. But I don't see it that way. What would you have done in my place? Was I wrong to call it off so close to the wedding? Would you have gone through with it? When I canceled the wedding, I expected fallout, but not the sheer volume of it. My phone was unusable for 2 days. Every time I silenced a call, another came in. Lauren's bridesmaids left me furious voice notes. Her mother sent me paragraph-long texts about how I ruined her daughter's future. Her cousin even messaged me on Instagram calling me a coward. It was overwhelming, but I stayed silent. The one call I did answer was from Maddie. She didn't even know yet. I hadn't had the chance to tell her before the storm hit. She answered with a cheerful, "Hey big bro, you good?" And I just lost it. I didn't cry, but my voice cracked. I told her everything. What Lauren said, the ultimatum, how I canceled the wedding. There was a long pause on the other end. Then she said softly, "You didn't have to do that for me." I replied, "I didn't. I did it because if someone's asking me to cut off my sister, they don't understand me at all." I could tell she was holding back tears. "You know Mom would have been proud of you, right?" That hit hard. Our mom passed 3 years ago. She loved Lauren, at least in the beginning, but I could imagine what she would have said about all this. No woman worth marrying asks you to betray your blood. And that's the thing. This wasn't about being a mama's boy or anything. It was about control. About someone trying to isolate me under the guise of healthy boundaries. Over the next few days, friends started reaching out, quietly. A few of Lauren's own friends messaged me and said, "Hey, just so you know, I always thought the way she talked about Maddie was off." One even admitted Lauren had complained about my over-involvement with family at her bridal shower, that she'd been planning this cutoff for months. The more I learned, the more I realized this wasn't a sudden explosion. It was a slow burn I'd ignored. I'd brushed off little red flags for years. Like when Lauren told me she didn't believe in sibling loyalty. Or when she called Maddie emotionally clingy because she called me after getting rear-ended. Or when she accused me of being manipulated by guilt every time I helped Maddie with something. I had been so focused on avoiding drama that I missed the real drama building underneath. Lauren finally texted me 5 days later. A long, dramatic message. I don't even recognize who you are. You humiliated me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy now. You could have compromised. You didn't even try. I didn't reply. What was there to say? She didn't want compromise. She wanted control. She wanted to mold me into a version of a partner who put her above everyone. Always. I get that marriage means shifting priorities, but it shouldn't mean severing bonds that make you who you are. I've been staying with a buddy of mine for the past week, just trying to process it all. The venue deposit is gone. So is half the catering cost. But weirdly, I feel free. Like I stepped away from a relationship that was slowly tightening around my neck. Sometimes I catch myself wondering what might have happened if I had just compromised. If I had agreed to cut Maddie off for the honeymoon and reconnect later. But then what? Another boundary? Another test? It would never have stopped. This was never about Maddie. It was about control. And I think deep down, I always knew that. Would you have seen those red flags sooner? Is it normal for a partner to ask for that kind of sacrifice? Or is it a deal breaker from the start? It's been a month since I called off the wedding. Lauren has finally stopped calling. Or maybe I just stopped noticing. I changed my number last week. Deleted all our shared Google Docs. Canceled the shared credit card we opened for wedding expenses. And took back the spare key I had given her. I guess that's what closure looks like in 2025. Cleaning up digital footprints and freezing emotion behind account passwords. But emotionally, I'm still unpacking everything. You know the weirdest part? I don't hate Lauren. Yeah, she hurt me. Yeah, she put me in an impossible position. But I don't think she ever believed she was the bad guy. In her mind, she was probably standing up for herself, setting boundaries, protecting her marriage. That's what she's telling people anyway. I've seen a few mutual friends post vague things on Facebook. Stuff like, sometimes narcissists hide behind family values, or men who can't cut the cord shouldn't get married. It used to make my blood boil. Now I just scroll past it. What I've come to realize is that Lauren and I didn't share the same definition of family. She saw it as something that ends when you make a new one. I see it as something that expands. She thought loyalty had to be exclusive. I thought loyalty was layered. We were never going to work in the long run. And I wish I had seen that sooner. Maybe I did, deep down, but I just didn't want to believe it. I wanted the perfect wedding, the happy Instagram posts, the smooth story arc. But you can't build a future on denial. Maddie came over last weekend. She brought Chinese takeout and her old Nintendo Switch, and we played Mario Kart like we used to in high school. We didn't even talk about the wedding at first. We just laughed and trash-talked each other over dumplings. At one point, she paused the game and looked at me seriously. I'm sorry you had to go through that, she said. But I'm proud of you. A lot of guys wouldn't have stood up for their sister like that. I nodded, a lump in my throat. It wasn't about just you, I said. It was about what kind of man I want to be. She smiled. Well, you picked the right one. It meant the world to hear that. You know, weddings come and go. Relationships do too. But integrity, that sticks with you. I've been going to therapy, too. Just once a week. It helps. I'm learning that standing up for yourself doesn't always feel like a victory in the moment. Sometimes, it just feels like silence. Like empty weekends and canceled catering contracts. But silence doesn't always mean regret. Sometimes it means relief. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Healing. Slowly. And if you're reading this, and you've ever been in a situation where someone asked you to betray who you are, whether it's for love, or acceptance, or to keep the peace, please know, you're not crazy for walking away. You're not selfish for choosing yourself. You're just brave enough to want better. What do you think? Was Lauren being emotionally manipulative, or just trying to protect her marriage in her own way? Have you ever been asked to cut someone off for a relationship? Would you do it? Let me know your thoughts below. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.